Good morning, YouTube, and it is the season that keeps on giving. We received brand new support again this morning. Now, the first three cards I'm going to show you are just alternative artworks for Blue Eyes, Red Eyes, and Dark Magician Girl, but there is also new Sky Striker cards, along with field spells and continuous spells themed around each anime. That will make more sense as we go through it. So, as always, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you do not miss out on any more upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh! Content. Let's start off with the first one. So, this is the first alternate artwork for Blue Eyes White Dragon. Not one of my favourites, but still kind of cool to be seeing alternate artworks for the originals. Then the Red Eyes looks kind of cool. I like the fire around it, and again, it's kind of a nice alternative artwork. And then finally, the Dark Magician Girl. Again, a really nice kind of artwork. I think it's definitely got the anime theme to it. So I'm not really blown away by on its own, but still a really kind of cool card to see. So let's start getting into these spells. So I'm going to try and take this all the way back to the first one that we get first. And this one is the Sky Striker Mobilize Linkage. This card is nuts. So if you control no monsters in the main monster zone, quite like the rest of the Sky Striker cards, send one other card you control to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one Sky Striker Ace monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone, and if you have at least one light and one dark Sky Striker Ace monster on your field and or in your graveyard, the special summon monster gains 1000 attack. For the rest of this turn, after this card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except Sky Striker Ace monsters. So that's kind of cool in the sense that it limits you, so you can't go for a full powered OTK. But what this does do is it does let you pretty much just tag out into a Sky Striker Ace monster. Now the only thing that I feel might be a bit of a different translation is the part from and if you have at least one light and one dark Sky Striker Ace monster on the field, well, this one means you have to control no monsters in the main monster zones to do it. So I don't know how you're going to have a light and dark monster on the field, but it does say and or graveyard, so that shouldn't be too hard for them to do, considering like if they play Veilers and then you've naturally got Ray anyway. Just to give that card a buff of 1000 attack. So it does mean that during the battle phase, rather than just high arte poke for 15, they can now in theory go for like a much more damage and go into a Kagari during the battle phase and kind of go from there. Moving on to the field spells and the continuous spells that revolve around the animes, we've got Dual Tower Alcatraz. At the start of the battle phase, activate this effect. Each player can reveal one monster from their deck except a monster with question mark attack. And if they do, banish those monsters face down. The player that revealed the monster with the highest attack can special summon one monster from their hand, and if they do, it can attack directly. Once per turn during the end phase, you can activate this effect. If this card is still on the field during the end phase of your next turn, destroy all cards on the field. So basically it's just a field spell that as long as you are playing high level beaters, it lets you just special summon them out for free. So that's pretty cool. Then we move on to Duel Academy, another field spell. This card gains these effects based on the types of monsters on the field. Warrior, Beast, Pyro. Once per turn, if you activate a trap card, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy it. Dinosaur, Sea Serpent, or Thunder. Once per turn, if you activate a spell card, you can inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. Machine, Fairy, or Fiend. Once per turn, if you activate a monster effect, you can target one face-up monster you control. It gains 1000 attack. So, I mean, I suppose if there is like a warrior, a dino, and a machine on board, you kind of do all three. But I love the fact that it's Duel Academy. I think that's really kind of cool. And I like that it doesn't involve the main like dragons and spellcasters. It's kind of nice that it focuses on the others, so it does make itself more themed to the GX era, which is cool. And then, of course, ready, set, duel. So rather than being a field spell, this is a continuous spell for 5Ds. When this card is activated, if you control no other cards, you can add 1 synchro monster from your deck to your hand. Once per turn during your standby phase, place 1 signal counter on this card. You can remove 2 signal counters from your field and send this face-up card to the graveyard to draw 2 cards, then send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard. So to me, this isn't like that great. I really do not like cards that are like, if you control no cards, do something, because it's like, okay, so I need to open it or bust. It's nice that it searches, don't get me wrong, that's really kind of cool, but I highly doubt that this card is going to survive, in theory, for 3 turns, because it's during your standby phase. So it means you activate this, and then your opponent gets a turn, you get 1 standby phase. You do more plays, your opponent gets a turn, you get another counter, and then you can draw 2 cards. It's like, I'm not going to wait 3 turns to draw 2 cards off this card. It's just not going to happen. So it's a cool kind of concept. I just don't think it's very modernized. Overlay network. This one I actually really like. So you can activate one of these effects. Target 1 face-up monster you control. Special on 1 monster with the same level from your hand or graveyard in defense position, but negate its effects. You cannot special summon monsters from your extra deck the turn you activate this effect except XYZs. Target 1 XYZ you control and add 1 card attached to it to the hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Now, what makes this really kind of cool is that in theory, I'm just trying to read over it again, you can only use this effect. So you only get to activate one of these effects. But the idea that it lets you basically spam XYZs, which is exactly what the Overlay Network and Zexal should really be doing. I think it's really nice for something like Time Thieves. Maybe even for Tellarknights would be really nice. So I kind of like playing around with a card like this. I think this could work really nicely. And then we've got Battle Royale mode joining. Another continuous spell. I love the artwork on this one. The artwork's really badass. So it's got like ancient gears in the background. And then obviously you've got the 3 different ones. And I believe this is from, not 5Ds, the Pendulum one. I kind of stopped after 5Ds, not going to lie. Activate this card by targeting 1 effect monster on the field. The first 2 times that monster would be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not destroyed. When that monster is destroyed by battle, the player that destroyed it gains 2,000 life points. If the turn player's opponent takes battle or effect damage, activate this effect. They can apply the following effect. Special on 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand or deck, and if you do, lose 2,000 life points. So I can see why the artwork is very evil orientated. So it'll be interesting to see where this one goes. And then the last one, I actually really like the artwork of this one, is Into the Vrains. So you special on 1 monster from your hand, but negate its effects. Then immediately after this effect resolves, link summon 1 link monster using materials you control, including the summoned monster. This link summon cannot be negated. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when a monster is link summoned this way. If a link monster or monsters you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card. Add 1 monster with the same original type as one of those destroyed monsters from your graveyard to the hand. You can only activate 1 Into the Vrains per turn. Now, really good. My only disappointment is it's not a quick play. I would have really liked this card to have been a quick play, because if so, it means that you can link during your opponent's turn, which would have been really nice. I know it's probably like a lot of people are like, that would be broken to link during your opponent's turn. It's like, yeah, well, IP Masquerade does it anyway. But I would have liked this to be a quick play, because at least then it means that if your opponent tries to destroy something or stop you doing something, you can chain this. If they try and break your board, you can chain this. It just gives you a lot more to play around with. And I would have really liked to have seen something like that, considering everything else is like continuous, field spell, and then obviously the Sky Striker one's a quick play. It would have been nice for this to have fit the theme, whether it be a continuous or a quick play. I think would have been more suitable for this card. But still, nonetheless, really cool card, really interesting to see, and I like this kind of lineage and homage to the original animes. I think that's really kind of cool, and it'll be nice to see what else we get. And then, of course, I think Blue Eyes alternate, Red Eyes alternate, and then Dark Magician Girl. I think they've all got enough alternate arts, but you know, like they're never gonna do it. Never going to stop doing it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. I think the Sky Striker card is brokenly good. And it's going to be interesting to see how they now operate. I mean, I don't think Engage can come back to more than one. Like, I still hate the Engage loop. But this, I think, is a really kind of cool card. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe and happy dueling.